Itoshi Rin has always been one of the most controversial, if not the most controversial character in Blue Lock. There are fans who love Rin, mostly females, because of his appearance, but also many males because of his skills, where even Rin haters gotta admit that Rin is a pure baller. But there are also many haters as Rin is a very edgy character. Although I've never been the biggest Itoshi Rin fan, because of his sometimes very weird behavior, okay, I gotta say that Rin is one of the most interesting characters of the manga, and there are two reasons why. First, his enormous skill and potential to become the world's best striker, and second, his motivation and his relationship with his brother Zai. So let's take a closer look on how Rin impacted the story of Blue Lock and how he elevated the skill and potential of each and every character. At the end of chapter 26, and after Team Z managed to get a draw against W, in the first selection they had to go up against Team V in their last match and had to win to enter the second selection. And Team V with Nagi, Reo and Santetsu seemed like big villains back then, who at first seemed to be unstoppable, especially Nagi, who got strongly introduced into the story with a Zidane touch and a goal to take the lead for his team very early in the game. And I remember how much of a big impact Nagi's goal and Reo's assist had on us the readers and Team Z in the story, when they were able to immediately copy Team Z's technique. Team V were the big stepping stone Isagi had to overcome, and after a dramatic finish, Isagi and the others indeed beat the mighty Team V. So, at this point, Team Z and especially Isagi, who had already developed several new techniques at this point, kind of had the aura of being very strong characters, and although each and every one of us still had a lot of respect for the second selection, we kind of felt, let's say, safe or confident. Confident that Isagi and at least the major characters of Team Z will be able to easily overcome the second selection, because if they were able to stop monsters like Reo and Nagi, who else is there left to be afraid of? Well. First, Rin debuted in the manga with a big exclamation mark when he warmed up by shooting one ball at another right before the start of the second selection, and then totally demolished the team of Isagi, Nagi and Bachira alongside Ario and Tokimitsu, and the team of Nagi, Isagi and Bachira at that point seemed to be a team which should be unbeatable. The fact that Rin didn't even have to try that hard to stop them is just scary. And while Bachira and Nagi are a duo that embrace the lightheartedness of football and its warmth and joy that come with it, Rin just consumes each and every spark of their light with his darkness, his coldness, his motivation. And especially now that Rin's backstory got revealed, which is obviously the reason why he acts the way he does today, I can understand why Rin is disgusted of their lightheartedness. And this is where the factor motivation mainly comes into play. We need to keep in mind that Rin once was like Bachira or even Isagi, and Rin loved to play football, to be free, to be able to fight alongside his brother Zai that he loved so much. And football was the core that connected Rin with all of the just mentioned values. And everything faded suddenly one day when his brother returned to Japan, only to tell him that their dream that they shared together doesn't exist anymore. So at this moment, Rin's prior main goal, his dream to become the world's best striker like Bachira, Nagi, Isagi and almost all of the other Blue Lock contestants want to become, became secondary. His once positive, lighthearted dream became a negative one, driven by vengeance, to beat his brother, to prove him wrong. And I've shown in several videos of mine that Kanejiro is a fan of the other mangas and likes to tribute them or get inspiration from them, like for example from Captain Tsubasa or in this case from Naruto. And I'm sure that many anime and manga fans have already noticed the brotherly dynamic between Rin and Zai that is very similar to the dynamic of Sasuke and Itachi. This is also the reason why many people at the moment got the theory that Zai just pretends to be evil, when in reality he actually wants to protect his brother and help him to become the world's best striker. As we know, Zai went to Spain and joined the youth team of Real Madrid as Japan's biggest talent, and returned years later as a changed and very cold man who now aspires to become the world's best midfielder. Currently we still don't know Zai's backstory and what has happened in Spain, but we can assume that there must have been a player that crushed Zai's dream of becoming the best striker and who must have changed his view of football in general. So therefore there is definitely the opportunity that Zai decided to change his behavior and love towards his brother Rin and fill him with anger and rage, so he will become the best version, a version that will prevent Rin himself of experiencing the same tragedy that Zai experienced. And it seems like Zai is waiting for a specific moment, a specific level that Rin must achieve first, before Zai is willing to acknowledge his brother. At the end of the U20 match, right before the final goal of the match, Rin actually managed to steal the ball from Zai, and at this moment we all thought that Zai must acknowledge his brother now, as he got beaten by Rin in the final moment of the game, which was the reason in the first place that Isagi was able to score the deciding goal. But after the match, Zai took the opportunity to fool his brother once again and provoke him by crediting Isagi, who at this time was Rin's biggest rival. So when and how will be the perfect opportunity for Rin to beat his brother in a match or to even reunite with him so they can play together for Japan in the World Cup? And this is a mystery I've been wondering about a lot, because let's take a look at the strikers of the current Blue Lock squad. We got Rin, Kunigami, Baru and Shido, and I think these are the current 4 major candidates when it comes to determine the center forward for Japan. At the moment I think Isagi will be a cam or CM who will be able to score goals as well and be helpful to the team because of his meta vision, but Isagi will be the main striker in the future for Japan, as it got already hinted in the current chapter. And of all 4 strikers besides Isagi, Rin is the best center forward, followed by Shido, Baru and Kunigami. So Rin will for sure be a starter for Japan, and I'm sure he will also be the world's best striker at one point, besides Isagi. So if Rin is the starting center forward in front of cams or offensive CMs like Nagi or Bachira and Isagi, there will actually be no space for Zai. And if Zai isn't a starter, then Shido will for sure not be a starter as well, as he only is able to create a chemical reaction with Zai, at least for now, which could obviously still change in the future, as it got already hinted that Shido kind of has a soft spot for Isagi's creativity. So what I'm basically trying to say is that there are way too many strong players in Blue Lock, or better say future Japanese squad, so it will be very difficult to create a starting 11 without wasting characters that are way too strong to just sit on the bench. This is also the reason why I think that Zai could potentially be a World Cup player for Spain, which would still leave the Shido issue open of how Shido could be integrated into the squad without Zai. So if Zai actually plays for Spain and faces Japan with Rin in the World Cup, their rivalry would be completed and come to an end in a final match where Japan and Rin will get a victory over Spain and Zai. This would also open the chance for Zai to acknowledge his brother and admit that he pretended to be a villain, so that Rin would grow and become the world's best striker without Zai, as there are many great players and threats Rin has to overcome. But what also confuses me now is the fact that we've already seen the world's best players in the story at this point, because we have seen the potential of the strongest player like Noah, Chris Prince, Lavinho, or the Big Five with Blake, Rocky and so on, and if we compare Zai and Rin with them, we can for sure say that the just mentioned players are better than both of them, but Rin and Zai are both not far from becoming world-class players like them, so what or who is there still left that could have changed Zai so dramatically? We know that Zai is a member of the so-called New Generation World 11, and we still don't know which players are part of it, at least I think so. If we do know who part of it is, then please correct me in the comments, so maybe this got something to do with Zai's sudden personality change. Alright guys, what do you think about Rin and his impact on the story? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, stay safe and have a nice day.